Tommy, was that an ode? Well, the non-magicians here won't know the Fez reference, but I love the idea because Fezes are different to me. And years ago, there was a magic effect with a Fez. We'll just put it this way in case there are non-magicians in the audience. It could change things. You'd put something in it, it would change it. Um, so magical. Your performances are always magical, often involve bizarre magic, which is more the spooky or strange mystery performances or mentalism, which is my favorite that I've seen you do as well. But recently you've been, and I'm sure that's your background. It's not that you've never done magic before, but you're veering back into that. And oh wow. I loved recently, and maybe one day you'll take that to our show. It involves bowls and water, which is very, very ancient. And before then, you did something very, very magical as well on the previous show. But I want to share with and brag a little bit about you, um, about the amazing Tommy Burnett and your mind reading, and as well as your magic. Can you recall your very first performance?
I can actually. I was 6 years old, and I was visiting my grandfather and grandmother, and he was a lawyer, so they had a little cocktail party, and my grandfather gave me $5 to perform for his friends, and I remember being very clumsy, but for my whole life. Not only my grandfather, but my mother and a lot of their friends said that I wowed them. And I remember doing a very clunky eighth assembly that I was like fumbling through, but apparently, even at 6 years old, I was able to fool uh, adults and pretty smart adults as well. So, but yeah, that was the first time I ever performed in front of people, and I got the bug, as they say. My father was an actor. My mother was a dancer and choreographer, and my younger brother is a musician. So I have theater in my blood, and
Yes.
yeah.
Very exciting. Very exciting. Equally exciting is something that you've brought back, as I alluded to earlier. You did a chat show from it or a talk show for many, many years, having great guests on, and you've recently resumed that under a new name. I
Yeah.
think it's a very, very clever name personally, and I
Thank
predict that there's going to be a lot of other people out there, either who are famous coming on your show and maybe not so famous copying that name. I noticed a local. I live in the Vancouver, Canada area. Already someone has taken that title, but it's not a chat show, it's a performance. And it's like,
right.
oh, I just wanted to say something to that guy, but he's a really nice guy. He may not have ever seen your
Oh
show.
yeah.
I have no
Yeah.
idea, but
Yeah.
nonetheless, let's plug Mind Over Magic, which is
I
some,
thought of it first though.
yes. Every Saturday. I believe it runs on Facebook and then probably on YouTube once you've
Yeah.
edited it. It's a wonderful talk show, and you've had some amazing guests on there previously. And I want to brag a little bit about your guest you're having up tomorrow, which is October 5th, it should be. And I'm not sure of the time. I don't know if it's noon or 1 o'clock our time, but you'll share that
Your
with
time
us.
will be your time will be 1 p.m.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So it's Dorothy Dietrich is your next
Yeah.
guest. Let's
Yes.
chat about her briefly.
Yeah. Well, I first met Dorothy as a teenager. She used to own a magic shop in Manhattan called her and her partner Dick Brooks owned the Madison Townhouse, and my high school was about a block away. So whenever I got out of school, I would run over there for about half an hour to an hour before going home. And I met a lot of really cool musicians there that probably don't remember meeting me. But I met David Copperfield when he was like just a young pup like me at the time, and Jeff McBride passed through there one time when I was there. I've since met him more since then. Um, but just to name a few, I bought my original massacre from Dorothy, and they closed down. I think when I was about 20, maybe not even, maybe earlier. Anyway, I hadn't seen her in 40 some odd years, and I
Wow.
was at a show of my friend Mark Salem, who was doing a show in Manhattan, and I turned to my right, and I see Dick Butch, who is Dorothy's partner, and right next to him is Dorothy. So I lean over and I go, thinking she won't remember me. I go, hey Dorothy, how you doing? And she goes, Tommy? I was blown away. Um, and we've been in contact ever since. Anyway, if you don't know who she is, she's the first woman escapologist to have been suspended upside down on a rope in a straitjacket while the rope was burning on fire, and she got out right before the rope burned all the way through. And also the first woman musician to catch a real bullet in her mouth that was fired out of a rifle. So yeah, pretty
Awesome.
impressive. Yeah,
Awesome. And people will be able to meet her via Zoom and or Facebook tomorrow.
yes.
How can people join up with Mind Over Magic with your guest Dorothy D tomorrow, Tommy?
So you can either buy a not really a ticket, but register to be in the studio audience at ticketsource.us/ Tommy Burnett Productions, or go to my Facebook page, Tommy Burnett Magic, and watch it live there. So, um, yeah, hopefully you come to the studio, but if you can't, you can definitely watch it live on Facebook, and it's going to be a really great show. Yeah,
Excellent. Yes, it will be. And I plan on attending as well. I want to mention as well your, I've forgotten the Magic Taboo. Is that the correct
yes,
title?
yes, my website, yes, or
It's
my
wonderful.
online, online shop, yeah. Um, yeah, it's been technically been around since 2008, but only officially online since early this year. But yeah, I create um, magic and mechanism that I've used for myself and now sell online to other musicians who use it quite often. And yeah, come on down and visit with it.
And
Oh, yeah,
oftentimes you have to run from Mind Over Magic,
yeah,
your own show. Hello,
yeah,
Mind Over Magic. You
yeah,
often have to run over to Kenton Nepper, who was on
yes.
quite a bit earlier. You're involved with, well, you share that with everyone, with
Well,
Kenton's intentions.
Kenton was very kind to invite me to an earlier one called. We've got so many now. Anyway, the title will come back with me. He invited me to one of his first intensives. Completely Cold was the name of it. A really great book that he put out with Jay Cancana. Um, and it's a way of doing cold reading that doesn't sound like cold reading, and it's amazing. So the first intensive was based on that, and um, it was amazing. And we've done 4 or 5 since then, and now we're doing the bizarre magic. And again, he's given me the opportunity to share some things that I came up with and able to teach. And it's an honor to be in the same room with him. He's a master, and um, I'm not quite there yet, but I'm working on being a master myself. So um, I'm a master in some areas, but not like not like he is.
Indeed, indeed. We were so honored to have him and Ed and yourself on the
Yes.
show as well.
Yeah, well, Ed is a great guy. I met him in person the first time I went to an event at Kenton's house, and it was amazing. And meaning Ed is so creative in his thinking, and he has contributed some really powerful, bizarre effects to this last intensive. I really recommend. You can still buy all of Kenton's intensive because they've all been recorded. So don't think you miss out on something. You can still get pretty much what we got out of the recordings.
Perfect. Perfect. Once again, Tommy Burnett, I want to thank
And
you so much for visiting our show. Everyone can catch
my
Tommy.
pleasure. So,
There's his particulars if you want to contact him. I wish I could point there. We go point in the right direction. Um, if you want to see Tommy as well on the Tuesday Night Magic Theater via Facebook as well as Open Mic Magic, please do. It's well worth it. All the performers are wonderful. I'm so pleased and honored to consider you and call you a friend, Tommy. You may not consider me a friend, but I consider you a friend.
yeah, I guess so. I
Yeah.
guess so. Yeah,
What
no,
are
of
you gonna
course
do?
of
What are
course I
you
do.
gonna do? Thank you once again, and have a wonderful day. We'll see you, Tommy, very, very soon. Big round of applause for the great Tommy Burnett, everyone. And now we're gonna welcome